Funny little story. I went through 2 boxes of Kleenex trying to research this flick. Hey guys, welcome to Happywax TV. Tonight we are talking about a movie called Porno. I know. Listen, try looking up this movie online, okay? If you're a reviewer or just somebody who wants to research this flick, try finding info on this movie. If you have little kids, make sure they're in another room when you're trying to research this flick, because 9/10 of the stuff you're gonna get is going to be legit porno. So I could have had this review up a long time ago, but it literally took me 2 days for whatever reason. Anyways, okay, so let's get on with this. So Porno, it is directed by Keola Racela. Hope I said his name correct. And I'm going to give you a quick synopsis, and I just want to jump into this. When 5 teen employees at a local movie theater in a small Christian town discover a mysterious old film hidden in its basement, they unleash an alluring succubus who gives them a sex education written in blood. Okay, well, first of all, the succubus in this movie is played by Caitlin Pierce. She is absolutely stunning, okay? It has nothing to do with the fact that she's naked through most of this movie, but she is just absolutely beautiful. But, okay, so straight off the hop, I was intrigued by this movie, not because of the title, but just because it was shot in a theater. It's pretty much a one-location movie, and it is shot inside this old theater, and it takes place in 1992. Now, there are not a lot of good movies out there, or any horror movies really. There's a few that are shot in theaters, and when that happens, I always jump back to one of my favorite movies of all time. Yes, you know this ticket. Demons, okay? I love the movie Demons. You know, it was just the fact that it was mostly shot in that theater. It was so old and so cool looking. And I will give them props. I don't know where this theater is. It says it was shot in New York. But man, oh man, the theater that this was shot in was fantastic looking. It actually reminded me of a theater here in London that I'm involved with called the Highland Cinema. It's just old school, man. I'm 48 years old, and at the Highland Cinema, when I was a kid, I saw the original release of Indiana Jones and E.T. That's how far back this theater goes. And I got the vibes watching this movie in this, of this theater. It's just so old looking and cool. It's not this new style, you go to the cinema now, it's all bright lights and video screens. And I don't know, it just had that old school look to it. And I'll give them props for that. Big time. The other thing, too, that I really liked about this movie was the gore. Now, I'm going to get into that because that was also a disappointment for me, but I did like the fact that there is all practical gore in here. And when there is gore, there's lots of it. It's just right in your face. And, I mean, there was a scene in this movie in the second act, or I guess, end of the second act. I mean, I've seen a lot of horror movies, and I've seen a lot of gore in horror movies, and when you get that feeling of uneasiness and cringiness, so much so that it's like I don't know what it is, like a tingle or like a vibration inside your body. Okay, so when this happened in this movie, that's how I felt. I was like, wow, I haven't felt like that in a long time, seeing a gore scene. So I will give them props when there is gore. I mean, it's right in your face, which was fantastic too. And I do like the first act. We get to know these kids. It's a really Bible thumping kind of a Christian town, so much so that they, say a prayer. There's 5 of them there, and then there's I believe it's the theater owner or the theater manager. They all get together and say a prayer before they start their shift. Just to kind of emphasize, the religion that is going on here. And it's just, it's like, this is a comedy, okay? This is a comedy movie, and it's meant to be put in your face in the cringiest way possible. And that portion of it really does work. It does. The problem that I had with this movie was the second act. It's too bad, really. And I know I sound like a broken fucking record, and you guys probably know what I'm going to say even before I say it, but This movie is an hour and I think 39 minutes. And honestly, it is too long. It is too long. Like, I don't understand what it is with these people who edit these films when they watch the final product. Like, the one negative thing I have to say about this movie is that it's too fucking long. Like, there's no way this movie should be an hour and 39 minutes. Like, through the entire movie, and it almost pisses me off because this is what I look for now when I watch these fucking films. It's like you could have easily trimmed like 10 minutes off of this movie and it would have kept the pacing, especially through the second act, going. Now, don't get me wrong. This is a fairly good movie. It's a low budget movie. You know what I mean? And it's his first time. It's Keola's first feature-length film, okay? So I get it. And I mean, the acting is not the issue here. The acting is fantastic in this movie. The direction is fairly good, considering it's his first feature-length film. But it's just, seriously, guys, you could have trimmed easily 10 minutes off of this film just to keep the pacing going. Like, the second act is almost hard to get through. It's so long. And there's dialogue in this movie that really doesn't need to be there. I know these companies that, you know, when they try and sell the movie, want probably a certain time limit on a film, but like, I don't know if that was the case for this film, but it kind of took me out of it a little bit, which is really sad. The other thing that I didn't like about this movie was the lack of gore in this movie. Listen, the scene I was talking about, I'm not going to get into detail, but literally a guy's nuts explode in his pants, and then they show him, like, they show the guys trying to work on his dink, trying to stop the bleeding. You know what I mean? So you have that budget there for that practical gore. You've got a movie called Porno. You know, you already know you're in the R rating with that one scene alone. Like, like, seriously, like this. What they did is they played it safe. I mean, they can deny it, but they did. There was a potential here, and again, I'm going to go back to Demons, okay? There was a ton of gore and blood, and it was zany and over the fucking top, which has made that movie like a legend, like it's a classic, okay? And this movie, God honestly, has that potential, but they cheaped out. They did. They played it safe, and I don't know why. So if you're part of this movie, I would like to know why. Yes, there is over-the-top gore, don't get me wrong, but there is nowhere near enough of it in the style of movie that this is. It's a fucking sex horror movie. You've got this succubus that comes from hell and like is ripping penises off, and like, people should get fucking mutilated in this movie. You know what I mean? And a few of the scenes that they shows that they had the potential and somewhat of a budget for that sort of stuff. Fuck, if you didn't want to kill your main characters, I get it. Throw some fucking red shirts in there. Like, throw a couple, I don't know, a couple of their friends come by or something. I don't know. It should have been written in. There should have been way more kills in this movie. And that is the sad thing about this movie and why I can't give it a higher rating. It's just, you know, it's a cool story. It's got a great look to it. The theater was fucking banging. I love that old school theater. The acting was spot on. But goddamn, you know what I mean? And the practical gore was amazing, but there was nowhere near enough of it. Not enough. You either needed to kill more of your main characters, or you needed to throw some red shirts in there for a few over-the-top kills, like Demons. That's all I'm going to say is Demons. The potential was here. Now, don't get me wrong, okay? I know I've said some negative things. This movie is fairly good, okay? To give it a rating, I would probably give it a 6, okay? But it's just, if I had two qualms about it, it's too long, and there's not enough kills in it. They should have amped that up. They tried to go the route of, you know, a more of a dialogue-ish style of movie. I mean, take the movie Night of Something Strange, okay? That was a movie based on sexually transmitted diseases through a parasite, and I mean, they left nothing back, man. They fucking went to town on that movie. It was over the top. It was gory. It was fucking, like, perverted. It was crazy. It was a fucking crazy movie, and it was all practical, and I thought it was great. And they had the potential to pull that off in this movie too. And they didn't. They played it safe, and it's a shame that I have to say that. So, anyways, definitely watch this movie though, because I mean the comedy in here is great. But if you read some of the critics' reviews that like this movie, saying it's like in your face gore and stuff, it's you know, it's not really. There's that one scene that gives you, you know, that really fucking gave me the heebie-jeebies. But other than that, I mean, it was pretty fucking tame, really. Nothing you're not going to see on The Walking Dead, you know what I mean? So, anyways, I believe this movie comes out May 8th on all streaming platforms. So definitely check it out. If you're one of the lucky ones, like me, to see it at a festival, please chime in and let me know what you thought of it. And if not, please make sure you go rent it and then chime in here after the fact and let me know what you guys thought of it too. Maybe I'm over exaggerating. I don't know. I just, you know, I really wanted this to be a huge fucking splatter fest, and it wasn't. But I mean, it was acted really well. The direction was pretty cool for his first time doing a feature length. And that theater, man, I loved seeing the old posters, the popcorn machines, the concessions, the seats. It was killer. So, I mean, is this a bad movie? No. Is it as good as it could have been? No. It's just an okay movie, and it's sad that it is, but for a rating, I think I said I'm going to give it a 6. So, anyways, guys, it's called Porno. Make sure you check it out. And again, don't have little kids in the room if you go to research this movie, because it'll be disastrous. So, anyways, guys, until next time, stay scared.